Okay, introduce yourself, okay, first. And who will take video for you? Who will help you to? Okay, good. You can start it.
Good afternoon, guys. Okay, like the topic of our presentation is what is the quasi-state subject in international law? So first we have an introduction about the state, and the explanation of wiki is quasi-states are usually political entities that formally have a territorial government, but lack for international recognition or the capacity for stable and effective internal governance. And example include like there are two types of examples. Like one is the states that are not universally recognized by Northern Cyprus, or another type of example is the states that are nominally independent but highly dependent on external supports like South Sudan.
So basically, the quasi-state is a country that governs. That said, it's governed itself, but isn't very recognized by the other countries. So we cannot sustain ourselves really well. So we usually ask other countries to import some things from them so we can sustain ourselves. So it's like a military governing.
Okay.
By the way，你们可以玩手机，但不要说话，好不好？好吵。不好意思，因为你们报告的时候我也没有玩手机，不，我也没有说话，我也玩手机啊，所以大家不要说话，那有点吵，所以。Okay, and human rights in quasi-state. Quasi-state human rights relations are primarily concerned with the states of these entities under international law. Their internal governance, capacity, and the protection of the basic right of their inhabitants.
So our rights are also with the international law, but however, we aren't fully completely protected because our names aren't really registered formally under their institution. So while we can replicate and use their laws, if it comes to us, they may not be able to protect us completely.
Key points on human rights issues. Or we can say in another word is the quasi-states country or subject will face a problem like this. So there are four aspects on the issues. First one is lack of international recognitions in this page. Inability to sign or follow international human rights treaties. For example, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Inability to Human Rights Watch or other international monitoring body to effectively inspect and intervene.
So because we aren't legal enough to be in their complete laws and rights, we don't have a lot of coverage. So even if we are pulled into something or we're affected by something that regards their laws, it may not be able to fully take effect on us.
And the second problem is insufficient governance capacity. Many prospective countries face challenges to their ability to govern. For example, the ability to secure the basic human rights of the population. For example, the right to life and the right to education of residents.
So because we aren't fully legalized under their jurisdiction, so we may be seen as inferior. So we sometimes will lack some of the things that normal people would usually have. So the last one is the most likely to be used because we aren't really on the same level as they are.
And the third issue is the rights, protection, and abuse. There are often serious human rights problems within these states. For example, centralization of power and lack of rule of law, which may lead to deprivation for freedom of expression or political participation.
And persecution or discrimination against minorities in the context of armed conflict or right to life and security of civilians may be seriously threatened. So our laws aren't complete because we aren't registered internationally, so we are missing some of the fundamental rights of human beings. So when we take action, we want to take action, or when we do something to armed forces, they may think of us as like a rebellion, so they might choose to squash us under their feet.
And the last is reliance on external support and human rights pressure. Because states are often dependent on the support of certain powers, which may influence their internal governance for geopolitical purposes. Supporters may neglect human rights issues and use the quasi state as a tool. The international community may put pressure on external for supporting the potential state to improve the human rights situation.
So because our country isn't fully independent and doesn't have enough sustainability to govern ourselves, we usually rely on the bigger influence from other big countries to help us. However, because of that, the government that asks for assistance may be influenced because they do not have the complete rights to control their own country. So because of this, they are really easily affected by outside influence. And then because of the outside influence, they may choose to neglect the people that they're ruling.
Okay, and challenges for the international human rights community. The international community faces the challenge: how can you promote the enjoyment of basic human rights by the inhabitants of the prospective country without recognizing its state? NGO is non-government organizations. NGOs and international organizations such as the Red Cross may be agglutinative, providing humanitarian assistance as service directly. Some quasi-nationals may win international support by emphasizing human rights standards in their quest for international recognitions.
So some countries would want maybe this small place become a fully independent country, so they let them choose to stay in their quasi-state right now. However, they also don't want to neglect the human rights that every person should have. So right now they're trying to find ways to integrate their laws into our national law so we can use them together without recognizing them as a fully independent state. So like you said, the NGO and some other organizations aren't governed. They're rather like people who volunteer to help in these things and they have influence too. So sometimes we use these influences to help them in their global issues.
The relationship between quasi-states and human rights is a complex issue that involves not only their that the residents of a quasi-state are not victims by geopolitics and legal gaps.
So basically, they're trying to find a way how we can give everybody equal rights without having anything governed by geopolitics, without boundaries. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. And group 3, so where are you? You can ask them question. One by one? Group 3? Okay? Ask them question. No? You can identify which page do you want to ask? Group 3? Think about it. Ask them questions.
Which page?
One?
Or you want to open?
Walk up? No? You should ask them question. It's very polite. Okay, who is leader? Who's leader?
Wait. Jasmine, Ray?
Okay, you can ask them. Which page do you want to see? Okay. This one?
Which one?
Maybe if we will just explain the key point again.
Oh.
The key point.
Huh?
Key point. Yeah, this one.
This one. What's your question?
Could you explain the key point again, the A, B, C, D?
They're in the following slide.
Okay.
This is the first one, second one, third, and the last. Yeah. Which one you are like? You're confused on which slide or which aspect? Or you wanna open it?
This one, the right position.
Oh, yeah. Your question is.
My question is just like, explain the example again, could you?
Example.
Example. Something. There's only a good example. Not a good example.
The first one.
First
Which
one.
one?
Huh?
Which one?
Which one? The centralization of Oh.
Just like, could you explain it?
centralization. Because we aren't a fully independent state, we can only be called as a military governed country. So the leader is usually the head of the military group. So centralization means all the power belongs to him. So we don't technically have a government. We just have a very strong leader.
Okay, next. Okay, good.
I think what you just said, that we technically don't have a government, we just have a very strong leader. With that being said, do you think that citizens' human rights, what is the impact of that as relates to human rights being violated, considering that you don't have a government or a democracy to advocate for human rights or justice or abuse that discriminate, those kind of stuff?
It's like an illusion, I guess, because we want to have rights, but we just don't have the backbone to actually, act it out. It's still there. It's just not as active. It's like a passive.
Yes, so what they do, what will happen in that regard? Because it means that the chances of everyone human rights being violated is.
Yeah, then they have to try to become independent.
Okay? It's fine. Okay, good. Okay. Next. Next question. Proceed. How many members of Kushi? Murayama Rintaro. Murayama Rintaro? Oh, it's your turn. Ask. You have a good assignment. Good. Which page you want to ask? There are gentlemen. He is thinking. He is thinking. Louder, louder, please, louder.
NGO.
You wanna like explanation of
The last one, right? So, like our country, we are a posse state.
Are we consistent?
No.
I have to go in.
Whatever.
Is Taiwan a consistent?
Yes, yes, yes. That's why I raised this question to ask everyone.
No, no, no.
Taiwan is a was subjective, not a state. Was subjective.
Okay, so Austin state is not a full country, so they don't have complete rights, so they have to use outside force. So let's take a big country like USA, for example. If you can use their support, you will have a better human rights standing, and then other people might recognize you more as an independent country.
Maybe not for the USA, like for
Just any big influence.
or like some international organization or or something like that. If you are like accepted by those like international organizations, you'll get something like you'll get more like rights or support or like supply or what. Yeah, in your country, Korea.
Okay, good. Okay, next is Lin Zhaowei. Okay, are you here answer? Thank you. And Chen Guanwei. Okay, your turn. Which page? Can you see? Can you see? Okay.
Huh?
What are the challenges, current challenges,
Current challenges. Current challenges.
So many human beings have no human rights.
It's not most human rights. It's not they have no access to those rights because they aren't fully recognized. So they may only have the basics, but not anything other than basics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. And next is Lai Qin Han. Okay, your turn.
Can you change to the conclusion part?
Huh?
To the conclusion slide.
Conclusion.
The relationship between quiet state and human rights, more details. Detailed explanation.
Relationship between consistent
Yeah.
and rights.
More detail about the relationship.
We have told it.
Foreign state and human
I've
rights.
told it before because so in the real country, people have human rights or some basic rights, but if you are a citizen in country states, they cannot like give you the human rights. So
But in short, you are inferior to them because your legal status is not as high as them.
so the people in country states, they are trying to be independent because they want the human rights actually.
If their legal status is the same as high, all the rights that they have, they will also have. Okay, I understand.
That's good. Thank you. And final, 贝诺. Oh, you asked. Okay. Choose this topic. One state different with different from one state, one subject. What's the difference subject and state?
Quasi subject is more independent than states, right?
How are you? Subject and state. What's the difference?
I don't know.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. In January we speak about the state means four parts. One definition, but four parts. They have a character. Okay?
And
Percentage character, solid character. And the second have a stable government. And they have the people. And fourth, they can explain their state building to international society. Four parts. But if we say state, that's the four parts of one definition. But when we use subject, it exists in international society. But he has lack of full statehood. That means state subject. Okay? Taiwan is a gas subject. Because we have no full part of statehood. What we are lacking about Taiwan. Recognition. Okay? And why the other country does not give Taiwan recognition?
because the forced by China, by mainland China.
Okay, that maybe is an excuse, but according to international law,
Because we cannot bring the values to other countries.
yeah, you can say that, but the other four parts, which part we are lacking?
We have our government.
We have government, but then is Republic of China government. Why we cannot use this name? Why? Because we are using this name, then we became God's subject. Why?
Because the name is China inside. There is China inside. China is the.
Why China is a state name?
Big influence.
Yes.
They are.
Four parts. They have a territory, they have a government, they have a people. They explain their statehood to international society. But how about Taiwan?
We have no state.
We have no state. We are lacking which part? Fourth, international state. And do we have a territory? But that territory belong to whom? Belong to China. Because Taiwan has no independent declaration. And we have no our own constitutional law. So our people Belong to who?
It's not possible.
China. Not belong to a state. That's why it's very dangerous for Taiwan. Okay? So now you are understanding we are Gua's subject, not Gua's state. No. So if we mention about human rights, China, did they protect human rights?
Yeah.
PRC protect their people's human rights? Are you sure? You don't know. They have freedom?
Yeah.
Yes. People are protected by constitutional law? Maybe. They have a freedom to union and to have a demonstration. They have a freedom of speech. They have a freedom of religion.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
But they are country. Even they did not protect human rights. Why?
Dictatorship.
Dictatorship. Because they have a poor state food. Not poor pop. They totally have it. But it doesn't fit into Taiwan. Understood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your mission? When you study this subject, what's your mission? Learn and
be the president and
be the president. Yes.
Taiwan to be.
You want to be a president, first you must build a new state, new independent state, and build a new constitutional law, and join the United Nations
Okay.
and the sovereignty state. Okay, understood? Understood? It's very important for Taiwan. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's take a rest for 10 minutes, and we will welcome a group screen. Okay.